Good morning, Gun Highs. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Whee! We need caffeine. We must have caffeine. Oh, that's not a good place for that. Let's put over here. Caffeine is great, not like another meeting. Dude, meetings suck. You know what the goal of a meeting is? To set the time and the date for the next meeting. What's up, Mark? How goes it? Nice to see you. All right, okay, so yesterday I was almost at the point of giving up on getting to level 100 on stream, but I told myself, look, you're almost there. It always feels darkest just before the dawn. We must see this through. So I did finish all of the courses on the back-end path yesterday. So these are all done. So we're gonna just pick off individual courses till we farm enough XP to reach level 100. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the Observability. They have an open telemetry course essentially that we're gonna start. Hey, what's up? Good morning, Melty. Oh, appreciate you, Mark, being on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, sir. Ooh, dumplings? What time is it, Melty? Where are you based out of? You're eating dumplings at 4 o'clock in the morning? Are you in England? Or the UK or something? Man, that's early, dude. Dumplings for breakfast at 4 o'clock in the morning? Oh, you just got off work? Oh, that makes sense. So this is like your dinner. Yeah, okay. I mean, shit, I'll eat just about anything at any time. Breakfast for dinner is fire. Breakfast for dinner is fire. It really is fire. It's also very cost effective. You know, other than bacon, probably bacon, maybe sausage. The breakfast meats have gotten a little bit expensive, but you can whip up a whole bunch of pancakes and eggs. Have yourself a dinner for a king on a pretty low budget. All right, what are we doing? Oh, I'm gonna start this, and then when we get to 21 minutes, we'll go get the coffee. All right. So I've done quite a bit of logging and telemetry stuff in C#, but I've never worked with OpenTelemetry in Go, so this should be interesting. We shall see how this goes. Where do I want to put this? I'm going to put this over here. Okay. Easy peasy. Oh, I actually need to update my I need to update the doing command. Hey, ye old effect, how you doing? Good morning. Welcome back. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Any words of wisdom this morning? I saw a quote yesterday which I thought was pretty good. I don't think it actually was said by Marcus Aurelius, but it's kind of the gist of his meditations book, which is when insults disturb you or praise pleases you, you are still a slave. I thought that was good. Wise words. Yeah, bro's deep, dude. Bro's deep. Marcus Aurelius, man, he knew what he's talking about. He knew what's up, okay? He knew what's up. Like deep. Yeah, that's some deep shit. That's some deep type shit. Linko. So this is what we're going to be adding observability to. This is the repo. Linko starter. This is a toy URL shortener project to be okay. Let's go ahead and fork this guy. We're going to fork him. Fork. If you like Marcus Aurelius, then I suggest Viktor Frankl. Oh, I love Viktor Frankl. I read Man's Search for Meaning once a year. Once a year, typically around my birthday. I love that quote too. I particularly the part about in our choice lies our growth and our freedom. I love that quote. He also has a quote in there about I can't remember exactly what it is. If I can find it. I thought he had a quote, and there it is. This is one of my favorite quotes from that book. Suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning, such as the meaning of a sacrifice. Yeah, what a great book. Also, I realize my coffee is ready. Here, get it. I think it might be my favorite quote of all time. It's wonderful. Marcus Aurelius had one where he described a type of person with the word starting with the letter O that I can never remember, basically saying to not talk out of your ass about shit that you don't know. Yeah, that's great advice. You should not talk about things you do not know. You should just admit you don't know. But what a great book. So Viktor Frankl, I read Viktor Frankl, The Man's Search for Meaning once a year. I always read The Simple Path to Wealth. I mean, I probably would read The Simple Path to Wealth like, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 times a year. I just listen to it. And then I read Frankenstein like around Halloween every year. It's kind of nice to have those books that you like revisit, you know? Have you tried a carnivore diet? Would that affect your training too much? I have not tried a carnivore diet. I'm not a big dieter. And by that I mean not that I don't believe in dieting, like maintaining calorie deficit, or like, not that I don't believe in like dieting, but I'm just not a big, like, never tried the carnivore. I've never tried slow carb. I've just never been one to pick up on the fad diets, you know? Just good, sound, proper nutrition grounded in science. Kills my cardio. I could see that. Probably could kill your cardio if it was, if you were doing something like high intensity cardio, but I would guess you'd be fine for longer steady state cardio on a carnivore diet. And I'm guessing at some point you probably adapt even to that, kind of get used to it. Daily zone 2, huh? And it still kills it. Interesting. That's not what I would have guessed, but if the diet though works for you, you know what I mean? If you're having success with the diet, I think that's awesome. The best diet's the one you'll stick to. You know, it's the same thing with the workout program. The best workout program's the one you'll actually do. Literally having a few deep beers the day before and I feel better. Huh. Crazy. Well. Okay, we're gonna clone this guy in here. And we are gonna CD into Linko. Open localhost 8899 in your browser. Make sure Linko page loads. Okay. Of course, we're going to have to wait for everything to download. I read it in an old Thomas book while in jail. I then proceeded to steal the book from the jail when I left. I missed that. I missed that message, Melty. Also, I love the fact that Twitch has the most messages right now. Good morning, Caffeinated Minds. Nice to see you. Welcome aboard, sir. Welcome aboard. I think you missed the quote. Oh, hold on, let me scroll up. Oh, another one of my favorites is from an unlikely place. Hippiness can be found anywhere. Exotic places only offer exotic ways to suffer. That is so fucking true, man. That is so fucking true. I mean, just thinking of like Viktor Frankl's, Viktor Frankl's situation, right? There's a guy who like had like one of the worst experiences you could ever have in life. If somebody had an excuse to be a piece of shit human being for the rest of his life, he had the excuse, right? And yet he turned that into this like wonderfully meaningful, impactful book that has impacted and transformed so many people. And then you have people online today who bitch and moan and complain about the most like slightest inconvenience, right? It's like children are starving in the world and they're angry if their shit's not organic. It's yeah. What was it? Was it Seneca that said life is short and we make it shorter still by our careless use of time, or something like that? Yeah. It's very, very good quote. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It really does. It will be what you make of it. You will get what you put into it. 100%. I don't know, but that's an incredible quote. It is. I can't remember. I might be misattributing. I can't remember if that was Seneca or somebody else. Life is short and we make it shorter still. Nope, that was not Seneca. Correction. Completely different time period and nationality. That was Victor Hugo. And the exact quote is, "Short as life is, we make it still shorter by the careless waste of time." I wish I could think of smart shit like that to say, you know? Like that would be really nice. I actually have a, let me see if I can find it. So when I was in college, I started this habit where basically I maintain this list. I call it daily documents. And it's basically just a list of like my favorite quotes. Also, sorry for the flashbang. And it's just a document that you can peruse on a regular basis, right? That gives you, you know, hope and inspiration. And that quote is on this document. I should turn this into like a website or something. That would be good. Keep these in like a little database or a JSON file. Oh, this is a really good one. Stephen Pressfield. Genius is a Latin word. The Roman used it to denote an inner spirit, holy and inviolable, which watches over us, guiding us to our calling. A writer writes with his genius, an artist paints with hers. Everyone who creates operates from a sacramental center. It is our soul seat, the vessel that holds our being and potential, our star's beacon in Polaris. Like, how do people write like that? You know, like who? It's crazy. I can't come up with smart philosophical things to say. I just like to remember other people's. That's in what a commonplace book was in the past. Good practice. Oh, really? I've never heard of commonplace. Hell yeah. Nice. Well, I'm glad other people are doing it. This is a dope document. Yes. I've always thought it was a great practice, you know, because you hear things, you read things, and you know you're like, oh, that moves me, you know, and you're like, I should look at that more often. Oh yeah, by Mark, was it Mark Mason? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Yeah, it's a great book. I really like him in general. Like all the interviews I've watched of him over the years, I really enjoy. I think I was in college when I kind of got turned on to his writing, or maybe I was a young adult. I can't remember exactly what time period in life it was, but there was an image that I used to have as a wallpaper background desktop, and it was something like Tim doesn't give a fuck, be like Tim. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this one. I had this as my wallpaper on my old MacBook. Actually, that's my old MacBook Air that's dead back here. But forever, I had this as my wallpaper, and I really love that. Everyone just wants to be liked and accepted, except for Tim. Tim doesn't give a shit. Tim is cool. Mike Goggle. Tim is cool. You remember Be Like Tim memes? Nice. Good. What did I study in college? I went to school for biochemistry. Yeah, that's actually my degree right over here. Yeah, I went to school for biochemistry. I thought I originally wanted to be a doctor, and then I spent my sophomore through senior year working as a medical scribe in the emergency room, and I just kind of realized I didn't have the I think if you're going to be successful in medicine, you really do need to have a servant heart. Like you really need to like love people and want to serve them, even if those people don't necessarily want your love or your service, and you can't let that jade you, right? And so many, I think, in medicine today don't go into medicine because they want to care for and take care of people. They go into it for prestige or money or recognition or status. And I think that leads a lot of people to become very jaded, because it's a very hard job to take care of other people and to treat other people like that. And then that jadedness poisons your bedside manner and the way you interact with people, the way you care for people. And that's, I think, what a lot of us experience when we have really shitty experiences in our medical systems, is because there's a lot of people who are in that line of work and they don't really like doing that work. I also don't know why we've been sitting here looking at crypto be installed for the last 5 minutes. It seems like... Okay, either the server's running and there's just no messages. Yeah, it's just, there's no the server was running that whole time, I think, and that's hilarious. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again. Go run. I'm just sitting there staring at it, waiting for it to start up, and it's been started the whole time. What are you building? I don't think we're building anything right now. We're actually going to take an existing repo and we're going to instrument it using OpenTelemetry. So we're going to add some metrics, some tracing, some logging. My main goal is to get to level 100 on boot.dev. And I'm so freaking close. I'm like level 95 or 94. And yesterday I had almost convinced myself to give up and move on, because the progress has slowed down so much in like the road from like 80 to 100. But you know, I'm gonna stick with it. You know, it's like you don't want to give up right when you're about ready to cross the finish line. You know. All right, when the server starts, print the following message to the console where %d is the port number. When the server shuts down, print Linko is shutting down. Start your server, redirect the output to a temporary log file. This I can do. This I can do. I'm actually going to do the same setup that we had earlier. Split down. Yes, split down. Okay, so where's the server? Where do we want to put this stuff? So we have this run command. Okay, I think I'll just, right here, I'll do, Linko is shutting down, so we'll do log. I don't know if it wants log or format. I'll do format for now. Print F. Linko is shutting down. Then once it gets running, we'll do fmt print f, and we'll say Linko is running on HTTP localhost %d port. We'll add a new line in there for good formatting. We could actually change this to print line. And then it wants us to go run redirect shell-c wrap linko.out.log. Okay. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You're now streaming on the normal YouTube video? Yeah, so I just stopped doing vertical streaming. Like, I took a break. So basically, I took a break, I think the month of May or June. When was that? I can't remember exactly. Maybe April? I took a break for like a month, and when I came back, I had spent like a month only developing with all my monitors. And so then when I came back and wanted to stream again, I was like, I am not going back to streaming on a little vertical space. So yeah, now we're just doing full up horizontal. But good to see you again, man. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you stopping by the stream. Okay, we need to switch Linko's app logs from FMT to the log package. All right. So I guess basically everywhere where we see format.println, we need to use log.println, and everywhere we see format printf or format fprintf, we need to replace with log printf. Okay. We can do that. Let's start with the main file here. So we have format printf. So we need to do log, and let's go ahead and actually import that module. And what do you have? You have a printf. Yeah. Okay. Easy enough. Excuse me. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if it's awesome per se. I mean, my channel has definitely started to die a little bit. My streams don't get barely a couple hundred views on them, but I'm having a ton of fun and I enjoy myself immensely when I do these things. So that is in itself enough. I think for a while there, you know, YouTube was just they really wanted people doing, you know, live vertical video, right? And so I think they were heavily incentivizing creators to do that by giving them favorability in the algorithm, I think. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't see a ton of people on YouTube streaming vertically much. There's only one other person I've ever seen do it in the programming and coding space. You know, it's definitely unique. It's definitely a vibe. It's just not conducive to like productivity, you know, to work off a little small section of your screen. I think that's it. Now let's go hunting for some other places where FMT exists. Destination. Sup, Kale? Also, why is there a picture of your kettle and coffee, man? Oh, sorry, I forgot to take that off. I usually keep that up whenever I'm making coffee because I'm going back and forth between my desk and that room. But I forgot to put it away. That's my bad. Good morning, Kale. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, why the coffee? I just forgot. I forgot. That's my bad. Yeah, good vibes, exactly. I'm good. You? I'm doing good, yeah. Yeah, no complaints, man. Oh, that's it. Okay, whoops. That's not what we want. That is indeed intentional. Invalid import path? Huh. Okay, so let's look for, let's be a little bit more specific. We're looking for print line. There we go. Hey, what's up, Yashkin Code? How are you? Is boot.dev really good to learn stuff like DevOps, for instance? I think it's, yeah, I've done a lot of courses. We've been working on getting to level 100 since May, and I have nothing but positive reviews to say about their courses and the information. I think if you're committed to actually developing some competency around programming, coding, software engineering in general, and you don't feel that it's a waste of time because AI can do everything for you, I think it's a good use of time spent, you know. Granted, I know right now in the world there's some very differing opinions about what you should be investing your time and energy into, but I've enjoyed it, so I would recommend. You launched a new application yesterday? Very cool, very cool. What does your application do? It's Friday night, then Saturday, Sunday. Let's go. Kale's already started the weekend, man. Let's go. Got any big plans for your weekend? Anything fun? Oh, I think I can remove this. I'm an aviation nerd that became an IT nerd but wants to still finish flight school next year. You'll do it, man. You'll do it. You're obviously a very capable human being who can do anything they set their mind to, so you'll crush it, man, whatever your goals are. Actually, that's why I want to learn more right now, because AI is coming for me, so I need to expand. Well, I don't, Mike, I understand your concern. I don't think AI is coming for you. But if you are interested in expanding your skill set and just growing your knowledge and having a little bit of fun while you do it, I think boot.dev is a great resource. I purchased it more for the gamification and the entertainment of it all than the educational experience of it, but it's been well worth it. It is free. If you don't have to pay. If you don't want any of the gamification aspect of it, you don't have to pay. But if you do want that, you do have to pay. Yeah, coming for me is not the best. No, I don't mean it like that. I just meant like I don't think you have anything to worry about when it comes to AI replacing you or displacing you. I think you'll probably be just fine. You know, if you're somebody who's out there in the world looking for opportunities and looking at already thinking about how you can improve yourself or expand your knowledge, I think you'll be just fine. I'm pretty optimistic on that front when it comes to AI. I know a lot of people have some pessimism or some doomerism around it, but I think the truth is a lot of it's built on either false promises or even outright lies in terms of what the models are actually capable of and how much impact they're actually going to have on our world. That's just me, you know. So I'm just a dad in Kansas trying to navigate this like everybody else. So take my opinion for what it's worth. I am 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I like it. I think that's honestly, it's kind of the best place to be right now. I think I think majority of people are there, Kale, where they're like, hey, I use AI for stuff when it suits me, but I'm also skeptical of it. And it's probably makes the most sense to kind of be a fence sitter, right? And it's not even necessarily really being a fence sitter. It's just having good intellectual honesty and skepticism around a piece of technology, right? It kind of reminds me of like when cloud computing became a thing, and then it was like you know everything every workload that you have ever should be in the cloud, right? Just this like unfettered, unquestioning loyalty belief. You know, it's dogma, right? It's dogma and theology is what it is. I'm a weird position as well. I super extensively use it for work and absolutely hate it at the same time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I don't find it weird. I think this is a complex time and it deserves a nuanced set of opinions, right? I think there's a lot of forces at work that want to make us either pro AI or anti AI, and they want to leave no space for honest intellectual discussions about it, because I don't think that serves to put money in many people's pockets, you know. Okay, I think I got all the log statements. Let me look for new lines specifically. Oh, what have I done? Okay, I think I got them all. Oh no, there's one other method we have to replace. This one. Looks like that doesn't exist anywhere. Okay, cool. We're gonna run this command again. T the output to a log file. We're gonna submit. The tasks and features that I work on right now are impossible to code by hand in the timeframes that we have. Well, it sucks that that's become the norm. It sucks that the way that people are getting people to use AI is by forcing it down their throats, but I feel for you, man. Kale, I'm like bipolar, and it can assimilate and become a forward deployed engineer or a trad coder as preferred. And I think that's the right place to be. I mean, I spent the last couple of years helping implement AI in our company, not from a process and procedure standpoint, but in feature development and like in our actual application. And so like I do understand a lot of the things in this space, and I do know how to work with a lot of these technologies. So if you sit me down in front of a Claude Code instance and say, hey, please do some agentic engineering, I can keep up with, I think, like the average, right, user of these tools, maybe even better than the average, but it's more of a question of, do I enjoy it, right? And I think from a career perspective, you sort of have a responsibility to be knowledgeable and have familiarity with all this stuff. But I think from a personal perspective, you totally also have the right to choose when and where you use it, you know? Okay, log.printf seems to work well, but there's a better way. A logger is an instance of log.logger. Awesome. It's usually best to send logs to os.standard_error instead of os.standard_out, because standard out is typically used for the main output of a program, and we don't want to gum that up with logs meant for developers. When you create a new logger with log.new, you can specify the output destination, and os.standard_error is usually the right choice. os.standard_error is the standard error output stream. If you find yourself forgetting to use a logger, the Golang CI linter comes with a sublinter called forbidigo that can be configured to prohibit the use of these functions. That's cool. All right, so we need to create a global logger in main.go. It should use os.standard_error. It should have a debug prefix and use the standard logs flag. In main.go, server.go, handlers.go, and auth.go, update all calls to log.x function to instead use the global logger. Okay. So you're saying if I go to main.go and I do this, so log.new, os.standard_error, we want a debug prefix, like that. And then we need to use this guy. Let's see if I can do like a glow. I think this is kind of risky, isn't it? We could probably do search and replace, but let's just search for log. Okay, everywhere where we have log, we need to replace it with logger. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of annoying because I have to revisit all the same call sites that I just visited. We probably could have done this in 2 steps. Or we could have done these 2 steps in 1 step. Okay, cool. And we do that in main.go, server.go. And we have to do it in handlers.go. OTel setup is painless with .NET. With Golang and Node, it's annoyingly hard. Oh, really? I've only used OTel in .NET, so I don't actually, I don't have any previous experience myself. pass GC as a final arg to find and replace, and you can just confirm through it. Okay, let me try that workflow. I'm afraid I'm gonna fumble this and make it worse, and it's gonna take twice as long, but we can try this. So we'll do let's see, log.printf, and we want to replace with logger.printf. Although I don't think that gained me anything, because now I don't actually know if that was the right thing to do. So I probably can just go ahead and do it. All right, and then we need to go to auth.go, and we'll just blindly do it here too as well. We're gonna do log.printf is gonna become logger.printf. Which I think is it, but I think there's still, if I'm not mistaken, there's a log print line somewhere. There you go, log. Huh, why can't I use logger here? That's package store. Oh, because that's okay. That's fine. It's a different package. All right, so I think we've done all the changes we need. Let's go ahead and start the server again. Submit. Okay, now we're gonna add some middleware. Okay, log each served request with middleware. Implement the request logger middleware shown above. Update its log output to use this format, where method is the HTTP method of the request, and path is the path of the request. For example, served request equals get /. Okay. So let's go ahead and implement the middleware. Do we have a middleware yet? Nope, we do not. We should create one. So let's do, we'll just call this middleware.go. We are going to implement this guy, func request logger. Oh, we gotta declare the package first. Func request logger takes an instance of logger. It's gonna return a handler. It returns a function that takes and returns. So this will be return, and let's call this next. So that's what they called it. This is going to be an http.handler fuck. And we will do serve next.serve. Why is it not? Oh, because that's not typed right. Handler. We pass in our writer and our request. And then we're going to do logger.printf. This will be served request equals %string. This will be r.method and r.path. Now, why are you complaining? Oh, I screwed up that type. I think that looks correct. Yep, that looks correct. All right, now we have to actually use this in main.go, and I think there's a way to pass this to the server itself, isn't there? So we can do, there's the mux. Server, yeah, here we go. So I'm pretty sure we can do request logger, pass the logger, and this will take the mux like that. So basically we're capturing the global logger within that middleware and then wrapping all of the requests with that middleware. Okay. Let's go ahead and run this again. Should be able to go to the site. Oh, that's a cool looking site. I hadn't actually opened up the site, and that's a cool looking site. Very retro. I like it. Should see some logs here. Yep, great. And then let's go ahead and submit. Why are we completing these tasks in Go? Because that's what boot.dev has us do it in. We could, I mean, obviously we could probably take all these lessons and content, import them to like whatever language of choice, but they're teaching it all to us in Go, and they have a starter repo that's in Go, so that's why. Eventually we'll make our way back to C#. The first thing I want to work on whenever we finish the boot.dev saga is I want to work on setting up a personal data server for the app protocol, and then I want to work on building a chat client for this website called stream.place, and then I want to integrate that chat client into my term chat application so I can have YouTube, Twitch, and stream.place chat all in the same place. So that's probably what, and then we'll probably do all that in C#. Well, we'll do part of it in TypeScript, part of it in C#. So we'll eventually might make our way back to familiar territory. Right now we're behind enemy lines at the moment. Good morning, Zolo. Good to see you. All right, we're gonna use a little bit of dependency injection. Let's see. We're going to replace the global logger with injected loggers. Add a logger field to the server struct and update new server to...
Did we just become best friends?
Hey, the Cloud Gopher. Thank you for subbing, man. That's very kind of you. Okay, thanks. Didn't know. I tried today to use Pomodoro time management at work. I got 1.5x more effective. Thanks for sharing this technique. Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I don't know where I picked it up. I probably learned about it from... I don't know where I would have learned about it. Probably reading blog posts when I was in college or something. I don't know where it came up, but it's been a technique I've used for the last, I don't know, 14 years, at least 10 years. It's helped me manage my fixation problems, because I have historically had an issue with, particularly with work, where I can get very fixated on something and it will be hours before I like take a break and step away, which is just not healthy. It's not good for you to sit in a chair like that for so long. So it's just a nice way to make sure every so often, get up, take a drink of water, step outside, do something. It also helps when you're not feeling like doing work, whenever you feel like, I don't want to start this task, or I really don't want to get, it's a really nice way you can bargain with yourself to basically say, okay, we'll just do 25 minutes, or we'll just do 20 minutes of work, right? That's really helpful way to kind of get yourself started if you have something you've been procrastinating on. All right, let's go to the server struct. And this guy's gonna take a logger. Okay. And then we actually want to take this in here. So we'll say we want a logger of type logger. And we'll pass that here. That. And we have to do the same thing for our store. Let's go back here. Let's just copy and paste. There. Like that. Exactly right. I just finished the work I've been putting off for 2 days. Yeah. That's definitely, for me, that's probably one of the things that helps the most with, because there's definitely work I do at work that I don't really want to do. Particularly when it comes to any kind of like manual testing, where I'm just like, I've done this a bajillion times before, and I just don't, it's not interesting. I don't want to do it. But it helps to just kind of put your head down and take care of business. We did that. Now we need to create 2 non-global loggers in run. Go back to main. Obviously now these guys are upset. So let's create the access logger, which is going to be equal to log.new. And we are going to give it all the same things here. Most of the same things here. So it wants us to write to a file, wants us to use the prefix info. Okay, what does this take? An IO writer. So I guess we should do access log file equals os create, and we'll say access. Use the access for server request logs. Use the standard logger for the store and shut down messages. Remove the old global logger. Okay, so how do we... It's going to be access log. So it looks like they're going to be looking for this at our root. So this will be linko dot access dot log. What do you do when the what do you do for logging when you're how do you log something when you have yet to create the proper logger? Let's see. So we should probably leave the global logger, and we should probably do something like error does not equal nil, logger dot log or dot print f failed to create access logger. Or I guess failed to create access log file is what we actually happened. Okay, and then access logger is going to go into our server. And we also need a store logger. Store log file. They want that to be a standard logger that writes to standard error with a debug prefix. Okay, so that's more like our global logger. Let's see, os.standard error. And then this is going to be debug. Never found Pomodoro effective. I always scroll during the break and lose momentum. I prefer 4-hour blocks where I don't allow myself to leave my seat. I mean, to each his own, man, to each his own, but 4 hours in a chair is a long time, man. That's hard. To me, that's rough on the body. Long time to be in one position. But if it works for you, it works for you, you know? Who am I to... Okay, so if we can't create the access log file, we probably should have a way to deal with that. Or hear me out. Just pretend the error doesn't exist, which is not the right thing to do. Curious how this thing works. Speaking of break, speaking of standing up, success. All right, now we can do a quick check on the news. Then we'll hop back into it. Tyler, you never see me back at my seat. Well, it's, you know, what is it? What's that quote? Know thyself. Yeah. Know thyself. So I trust you, man. If the longer sessions are better, I say go for it. And I mean, I shouldn't pretend like I'm an uber strict Pomodoro practitioner, because there's footage of me on the internet in these live streams where I completely just ignore the timer because I'm in the middle of doing something. So but if I can, I try to stick to the Pomodoro method if I can. Wow, tornado warnings in New York City? I didn't think they got tornadoes up there. Hacker targets Grand Theft Auto in apparent leak. These hackers ruining all the fun. OpenAI reaches Apple Messages integration for ChatGPT. Huh? Aren't Apple and OpenAI currently in a lawsuit? Yeah, I thought they were. Huh? That's kind of interesting. All right, back to it. Back to it. All right, so we were deciding on what to do. So we need, I'm going to do this. Var access log destination. And that will be typed as an IO writer. And this. And you are going to become, if that cannot be done, then we will say it's going to be reassigned, and we're just going to go to standard error. Like that. And I think I want to rename this to like global logger or something, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. Actually, I am going to do that. Global logger. We'll use that here if we need it. But now we need to go. Well, yeah, what do they want us to do? Use the access logger for server request logs. Use the standard logger for your store and shutdown messages. Okay. So I guess, are they saying we should be using store.logger here, but that's not exposed publicly. So I'm going to use the global logger here. Yeah, I'm not sure what they expected us to use here. Or maybe they expected me to make the fields on the store and the server public. I don't know, honestly. Okay, so now let's do all other references to logger need to be replaced. So this is our handler, so we're in our server essentially. So we need to replace all the errors that we have with, instead of logger, we do slogger. So let's do %s logger. Oh, this would have been better if I had not done it manually first. So %s logger needs to become s.logger everywhere. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing in auth, but auth is also same story. %s logger dot, or just logger needs to become s.logger. And then we have to go to our store, and our store still needs updating. So there's a printf in here, which is using the log package, but now we want to use s.logger. Yep. I think we found them all. So now let's restart the server. But we're not going to output anywhere. Okay, there's our Linko access log. What's our linko.out.log? Where's that coming from? Linko.out. Oh, I think that's when we were actually running the T command, wasn't it? 5:21. Yes, 20 minutes ago. Okay. We have no logs in our access log. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? Well, I guess that's the case because request logger. No, it should be using the same logger. Maybe I just haven't triggered any requests. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. There's someone at my front door. And I was like, who's at my front door at 5:44 in the morning? Because the Amazon driver. That scared me. There we go. Cool. All right, so now we're going to talk about logger configuration. Looks like they support multi-writer configuration. It says there's no reason a logger can't write to both standard error and a file at the same time. The io.multi-writer function takes multiple io.writer objects and returns a single io.writer that writes to all of them. Use one logger that changes output based on log file. Okay, assume that in production, Linko has a Linko log file environment variable set. In local development and staging, it is not real. If Linko log file is set, the logger should write both the file, or it should write to both the file and standard error. Otherwise, it should only write to standard error. Okay. So where we need to do this work at? Do we need to do this in the server? No, we need to do this in run. So basically what we want to do is we want to have one logger that's returned by a function call called initialize logger. And I don't think that needs to take any parameters. Function. I'm actually going to add it above the run function just for ease of reference. But we'll do function initialize logger. And so what we want to do is we want to figure out if that environment variable set. So we're going to say linko log file equals os.env. Is it lookup or no? It's get, isn't it? Get env. So this will be, we're looking for linko log file like this. And so if linko log file is an empty string, then we'll do some stuff differently. Otherwise, we'll do this. Also, this needs to return a log.logger. For now, let's just return nil. And then let's go ahead and move our checks here. This is going to use logger. And the server is going to use logger. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Filthy Potato? Good morning. You're up early. Yep, you're up early. I guess you have work today, huh? Yes, sir. Off on Fridays now, plus the weekend. Well, that's awesome, dude. Congratulations on getting a 4-day work week. Ka-cha! That's awesome, dude. Yeah. It's good to be up, man. It's good to be up. We'll take all the wins we can get. I've been good. Yeah, life's good. Kids are healthy, wife's healthy, I'm healthy. Been plugging away on this boot.dev thing. We're close. I think I'm trying to get to level 100. I'm currently at level 94, so about 6 more levels to go. Yeah, life's good. Yep, Papa Steven. Exactly that. Okay, add. It should create a logger that writes to both the file and standard error. Otherwise, it should create one that only writes standard error. Use this logger for all logging. Remove both the debug and info prefixes from the logger. Oh, so we don't even need to do any of this. Well, we do need to do this. Yeah, so let's, instead of doing that, let's do this. We'll say log access log destination. No, this should just be log file destination. And if it is set, then there should be a path here. So we'll do linko log file. If that fails, then we'll make sure and say we failed to create log file. I wonder what happens if I wonder if this breaks anything. I was gonna say, I wonder what happens if I do this, where I pass, where I do multi-writer. Hey, SMS, can we find this code file on your GitHub? This is not on my GitHub, but if you, because I haven't pushed it up anywhere yet, but I'm actually just working in a starter repo, SMS, that's part of boot.dev, and that is, well, I guess a version of it's on my GitHub, but it's not with all these changes that I've been making. There you go. At SMS. Here is the repo we are working in. So that link will take you to like the beginning state, right? The beginning repo state where we've been actively making changes this morning, but that link that I sent you is a fork of a boot.dev repo. So I don't want to take credit for any of it. Because I'm really doing is I'm going through the existing code and I'm just instrumenting it and adding logging and tracing and metrics and stuff as part of their open telemetry course. Okay, multi-writer equals io.multi-writer. So I'm kind of curious if I do this, if I do linko. Oh, we need to do this. So if I do this log file destination and then standard error, I'm kind of curious if both of these things are standard error, is it going to throw? Or will it just like merge, you know, like dedupe? Huh. Interesting. Well, I guess we'll find out. Logger.new and then takes the multi-writer. And why are you complaining? It wants that. I don't think we want any prefix. We do want, though, log.ltsd flags. And why are you complaining? Log file destination, declared not used. Oh, yep. Ah, interesting. So how did I do that? This seems like it's a very common case you would need to be able to do. So I want to declare the error as new, but I don't want this to be declared as new. So how do I do that? Method returns value error in Go. Need to assign to the value, but declare and assign to the error. Okay, I guess we'll explicitly declare the error as well then. Okay, then we can get rid of these guys. We can get rid of this, all these checks. And that is simplified. So I think I've implemented it correctly. Again, the one thing I don't know about is, I guess I can ask ChatGPT, or in my case, Gemini. Let's see if Gemini knows. In Go, if I pass os.standard error twice to io.multi-writer, will it panic? So we will get duplicate output in that case. That's probably not what we want. So that's probably not what we want. So I'm going to write a really ugly thing right here that says if log file destination equals nil, var writer equals io writer, and I'm going to say not a big fan of else statements, but who cares? Otherwise, writer is going to equal os.standard error. And we don't need to assign here. We just want to be aware that it failed to create the log file, so we'll log that out. And let's remove the debug prefix from the global logger. All right, I think we're ready to give it a run. So let's do go run. Should see some messages. Oh, we need to set the environment variable. There we go. And then we'll do boot dev run -s. Let's go. All right, we're close to leveling up. We're close to getting to level 95. All right, here's the code I used to create Linko's logger. That's fair. They kind of did a similar thing that I did. Only they propagated the error up instead of logging it. So you can see right here, if they fail to create the file, they do fail to open log file. This is probably a safer way to create the log file, I'm guessing. What does that 644 mean? All right, so that sets the owner to the file creator and only allows read access to members of the files group and read-only access for all other users, okay? And then opens the file for write-only access. Okay, yeah, I should probably update my code.
Did we just become best friends?
Sukesh, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. All right, notice that if an error occurs when opening the file, I return an error from initialize logger, and then in run, I write a message to os.standarderror and return a non-zero exit code. If you use log.fatal or log.panic instead, you might have a couple of problems in your code that would make it impossible or very difficult to test that behavior in a unit test. Excuse me. Prevent the program from running any deferred functions or doing other cleanup. If you ask me, log.fatal and log.panic should be avoided. I don't even like that they're in the standard library because they couple logging with control flow, but that's a different discussion. Ah, that's a good point. I like that. I'm going to steal that position. Instead, I prefer to let the caller of the initialize logger function decide how to behave in the event of a failure. Then when it's time to handle the error, that is one of the few times it's okay to log without a logger by using format.fprintf because it was the logger itself that failed to initialize. And then because you're still passing, I guess, OS standard error, you'll still get some output. So you'll know what went wrong when your program tried to run. What is one of the only times it's okay for service to write a message directly to standard error instead of using a logger? When the error is due to the service achieving HEI and throwing off its human design shackles. When the error is due to the logger itself failing. All right, now we're going to talk about buffer logging. One solution is to use a buffered writer like buffio.writer around the file. It allows us to write log messages to an in-memory buffer, and then that buffer is only written to disk when it's full. Buffer file logging writes an initialize logger wrap the file with buff. Okay, so I'm gonna make a quick update to my code. Well, no, I'm fine. It's fine. We can leave it the way it is. Okay. Buffer wrap the file writer with buffio.new writer size. Keep the non-file logging behavior the same, and then run this application. I'm gonna go get that package off my doorstep. It's a cam link. You guys ever heard of those? I've been using a capture card for my camera, but I want to be able to stream video games, so I got a cam link so I can reclaim my capture card for my Xbox. I'll be right back. Does anybody else open packaging like a Neanderthal? Oh gosh. $70 for this little thing, huh? Crazy. Crazy, bro. Hey, what's up, Suhas? Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. This is a robust cable, that's for sure. Oh, crap. I think I'm going to have an issue. Or maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll test this out. I'll test this out today, but maybe we'll start playing some video games on stream. I know that's not really on brand for my current channel, but I think that would be fun to do. I'll be sleeping in like 5 minutes. LOL. 4 p.m. in India. Wow, you're literally 12 hours, 10 hours ahead of me. Crazy. How to fix your sleep schedule? I think the only way to have a good sleep schedule is you have to be uber disciplined about going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time, which I know I'm a hypocrite because I have been historically terrible of doing this in my life, but any times where I've had really good sleep, really good consistent sleep, it's because I've been very disciplined every day, go to bed and wake up at the same time. Whether that's a weekend, weekday, right? That's the only time when I've really been able to regulate my sleep well. Obviously, you need to get enough of it too, but grab PC Game Pass and try Microsoft Flight Simulator. I like that recommendation. I have Xbox Game Pass. I don't think I would be able to even play the Flight Simulator probably on my PC because I don't have a PC with a graphics card or anything. I'm guessing my machine would probably choke on it. Yeah, it would if I played games on stream, it would probably be Call of Duty, Fortnite, you know, nothing crazy. There's a couple indie games I'd like to give a try that people have recommended. Stuff like that. You have a Series X? I do not have a Series X. I have a Series S. Just the little white digital version. Okay. We need to buffer our log. Hello, Adam. What's up? So what do you plan on doing today? So I have a command for what I'm doing every day. It's just !doing. Sometimes I do forget to update it, and I never mind you asking. So what we're doing is for the last 30 days or so, I have been attempting, or not 30 days, I guess it's more like 90 days. For the last 90 days, I've been on a march to get to level 100 in boot.dev, which is like a gamified platform. And it's like a gamified education platform. And so I'm at level 94 4 right now, and I'm just grinding away at leveling up. I'm just farming XP. I hate how YouTube ads add underneath the video. I have no control over ads or the ad placement, but I appreciate you watching them. Oh, Adam, it's not doing. Sorry, I told you wrong. It's not doing. It's either WTF will work, or you can do what bro doing. Sorry, either one of those will work. And also, all the commands for my stream are at that website, commands.com. Command, what is it? Stevens/commands. But nice to see you, Adam. Thanks for stopping in, man. Hope you're doing well. All right, back to buffering our logger. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. I'll try to get to some more exciting content on stream once we finally wrap up this boot.dev grind. I'm probably going to take a very long, deep trip down the app proto rabbit hole. That's my next plan. Okay, so we're going to do buff io dot new writer. And we're going to give it 8192. Oh. So we should actually do it here. Like that? Yeah, that's good. Okay, now we'll restart the server. And we will submit. Can I know how much you made on YouTube? Yeah, sure. I'm pretty open book on that. I think last year I made like $1,000 off AdSense. And I think this year I've only made like $100. Let me look. It's not, it's pennies, you know, compared to my salary, my day job. Let's see, this year I've made, what year are we in? Are we in 2025 or 2026? We're in 2026. Yeah, so 2025, or so I misspoke. In 2025, I made $694 on YouTube. And in 2026, I have made $838 so far in 2026. What about on Twitch? On Twitch, let me see. Not much. I mean, I have such a tiny, you know, the thing is I have such a tiny, you know what I mean? I have such a tiny, like, viewership, following, or whatever, you know? So, let's see. Where do you see that on Twitch? Earnings? Oh, they don't have, their filters are not as convenient as YouTube's filters. One sec. Let me go back to January. I don't even know when I got partnership on Twitch. There we go. Update. So, okay, so Twitch says I made $0 revenue in 2025. I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what their analytics say. And then let's jump forward to 20. Sorry, let me jump forward here. Oh, they only let you filter to the current date, I see. And then Twitch in 2025, or I guess this would be 2020, sorry. January 1st, 2026 to today, Twitch says that I've made $151. Yeah, so just pennies. But I'm appreciative of the viewership, and making any amount of money on the internet's a cool thing. It's definitely not necessary though. No one should ever feel like they need to no one should ever feel like they need to sub to my Twitch or become a member, or what's the other thing people do on streams? Super chats. No one, I work a day job. I have a full-time salary, you know what I mean, benefits and all that stuff. So I just do this stuff for fun. Does it even matter if you're doing this for fun? Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. And if you look at, you can look at my channel analytics, and like you can see like my streams over the last 30, 60 days. They barely get like 100 views on them. So I don't really pay attention to the analytics very much on any of that stuff, you know. I just make because making makes me feel better about life, and the more I make, the more I want to make, the more productive and creative I feel. So I just try to lean into that, you know. And I've got probably another 19 years or so of working full-time before work becomes like optional. So I might as well pass the time doing stuff I enjoy, you know. Like a lot of people buy video games and spend money to have fun. They do, yeah, they do. And I don't spend much money in that way. I buy stuff for my kids and my wife and stuff, but I pretty much don't. If I have extra money, my extra money goes into an index fund. Oh, whoops. Did that not? There we go. Oh, I guess I had already run that because I got 0 XP. Okay, we need to clean up our logger resources before we exit. As you create your logger, you also create a close function that cleans up any logger resources. For the file logger, that close function should .flush the buffered writer and .close the file. One valid signature would be close func error. For the standard error logger, return a no-op close function that returns nil. Call the close function before Linko exits. Don't defer it directly, you'd lose the returned error. Instead, defer a wrapper that calls it and prints any cleanup error to standard error. Once again, we resort writing directly to os.standard error. The logger isn't in a usable state at this point. Okay. So this would be, where are we? Initialize logger. So we're going to return the logger. Close function and an error here. So if we get down here, let's just return nil for now. And then we will purposely ignore these for now. And then we will add a type closed func, which is a function that can return an error. I will also probably live like that, or expensive server. I mean, it's not that I don't necessarily spend. I mean, I spend money, right? Like I spend money, but I don't spend it very frivolously on stuff, you know. Like I have a lot of nice expensive tech, but it's stuff that I've accumulated over, you know, 14 or 15 years of life. Like the most expensive thing I bought last year was a new computer. You know, that was about $1,000. But yeah, for the most part, most all my extra savings just goes into trying to buy my financial freedom, you know. Do you think AI bubble will burst? It's not really a matter of if it will burst. It's a matter of when, because you know, the market here in the United States goes through, or largely the economy goes through a business cycle, and right now we're in a bull market and we're on the up and up and things are great, but eventually we'll have a pullback of 20% or more, and you know, that will be what it will be. You know, that's just like it's happened in all the years in past. It'll happen again, you know. The market cannot just continually go up forever in the short term. It continuously goes up forever in the long term, but in the short term, it'll eventually have a correction. What will cause that correction and when that correction will happen, no one will know. You know, that's the thing nobody can predict. If you could predict it, then you'd be Warren Buffett, right? Hey, Hal. Good morning. We're due. It's had many cycles before. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And if you're a short-term investor, if you're someone who's trying to time the market and jump in and out, then that's an interesting question to try to answer. But if you're a long-term investor like me, who's thinking in, you know, 10, 20-year time horizons, it's only interesting in the sense of what all the side effects will be, right? You know, you think of when the economy has a downturn, it's pain for a lot of people. And obviously you as an individual want to be in a good position to weather that storm, but it's also, as an investor, a long-term investor, it's also a buying opportunity, right? I think VTI, the last shares of VTI I bought were like $380, and I remember when I was buying them for like $200 5 years ago. So I would love for there to be a little bit of a repricing, and I can pick up some more index funds at much cheaper prices, right? Now, if you're a short-term investor, obviously, like if that's the game you like to play, that's the game you like to play, but it's not for me. Warren Buffett's company highest liquidation of assets recently. Yeah, they're just sitting on like a giant ass pile of money, you know. But if you've listened to Warren Buffett talk at the shareholder meet, if you've read his shareholder letters, or if you listened to him speak at the last several shareholder meetings, or when he's been interviewed by what's that journalist name, Becky? I want to say Becky something, but he talks about that, where like, you know, they have so much money, they have such a huge pile of cash that they can stick it in T-bills and make, you know, 4 or 5% of it. And so if they're going to put that amount of capital, if they're going to put capital to work, it has to be capital that's going to be a meaningful return above and beyond that, right? It has to be a meaningful return above and beyond the risk-free rate of return that he can get on their money. And so for them, it makes a lot of sense to just sit in cash, right, in T-bills. It's not really in cash. It's probably in U.S. Treasuries, if I had to guess. But for like the individual investor, Warren Buffett's always said, like, you should just follow what Jack Bogle said, and, you know, buy index funds and hold for a long period of time. He's even said that about if he passes away, you know, that will be his advice to his heirs, you know, is buy and hold index funds over a long period of time. What you have to say about language Julia compared to others, where it is good or average? SMS, I have no idea what the Julia language is. That's a completely new language to me. Never heard of it before you just mentioned it. Julia programming language. A composable Julia uses multiple dispatch as a paradigm. Huh. Okay, right off the bat, the syntax looks ugly. Oh, whoops, no. These are print sorry. This is like a prompt. Okay, I can get down with this. I don't like this, the end keyword. I hate the end keyword. I think it's so ugly. Lua has this. And doesn't Bash have this too, the end keyword? I don't know. Or Ruby, is it Ruby that has the end keyword? I don't know. I hate that. It's so ugly. But that's preference. That's just my personal preference. It's not gospel. It looks like it's got a really rich ecosystem. They've got all the tooling and editor integrations. They got a profiler, debugger. Huh. I've literally never heard of this language. Very interesting. I'm kind of, my new language experiment, or my new language learnings is kind of on hold at the moment. Last year I learned a bunch of new languages. And so this year I haven't picked any. Well, I guess I learned C. I wrote C for the first time this year. But right now my focus, the number one language that I want to get better at is Rust. That's what I've been focusing on. That's what I'm going to use for Advent of Code coming up in the winter. But thank you for mentioning that. Maybe I'll take a look at that at some point. There's just too many programming languages, man. There's too many programming languages and not enough time in the day to get to them all. It's terrible. How dare they do this to us? I wish I could get a job before that happens. See you, Suas. Have a good night, man. So, oh, nice. I'm planning to use Go for Advent of Code. That's what we used last year. Yeah, that's what I did last year. I used Go for Advent of Code. And I had a blast, man. It was a ton of fun. It was the first year I also finished all the puzzles in Advent of Code. I loved that they went to was it 12? It's like a 12-day thing. Still 2 parts, but only 12 days. So what I did was I just did 1 part for 24 days to make it last all of Advent. And that was way more manageable for me to like keep up with. So it was the first year I finished all of them, kind of on time, on pace. I don't know if that'll happen this year since I'm using Rust and I'm not like the best programmer in Rust. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, you picked up. Nice, dude. Very cool. Well, I'm glad you picked it up. I'm glad I'm guessing you're enjoying it since you're going to use it again this year. Yeah, I like Advent of Code. It's become kind of a yearly tradition thing I look forward to every year. It's kind of the closest thing I get to data structures and algorithms every year because I don't really grind much elite code or anything like that. So it's a nice change of pace. Sets the mood for the holiday season and everything. I really enjoy it. Okay, so we need to actually get the close logger. And then we want to run this. And I think we want to do this. We want to wrap this like that. And then we want to say close logger. And this could potentially return an error. So we'll say if error does not equal nil. We just want to make sure we print this. We'll say error closing logger. And then, like he said, we'll defer this guy. This will be a defer. Oh yeah, I don't need to do that. Yes, that looks good. I now use Go for my personal projects, but since I'm a Java developer, I feel like going back to that structure sometimes. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if you look at a lot of Go code I've written, my Go code definitely has like a C-sharpier feel to it. Particularly like with the way I try to kind of create these, you know, these public interfaces, you know, and hide away the details and stuff in the module. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with, I mean, I think it's good to adapt to the idiomatics of the language, especially when you're learning it and you're first writing it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of adding your own flavor to it, especially when it's your projects, right? Like, it's one thing when you're working with a big group of people and, you know, you kind of all want to do idiomatic things and have a shared convention for stuff, but nothing wrong with bringing, you know, that's half the fun of programming and coding, right? It's the creative and the artistic expression that you can do with it. You know, I think that's what a lot of programmers are mourning right now when it comes to agentic coding. Is I think a lot of us who actually enjoyed coding, I know there's developers who didn't enjoy that part of the job, but a lot of us who did enjoy the programming, the coding, you know, we actually did like writing and reading the code and like fussing over the you know, the API design and the style and whatnot. And so I think I think it's good to do that. Still try to structure my projects with MVC architecture, but it's easier to get rid of things that feel unnecessary. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's nice about some of these languages that don't have kind of that strict project. You can just, you know, you can just put files here, create a new folder, put another file here, right? Like I don't have much experience with Java, but you know, once you're in like a proper C# solution, right? Things can feel a little bit more rigid and difficult to move around and delete and refactor and stuff. So languages like Go and TypeScript, you know, even Rust is that way in a lot of ways. Rust is very easy to work with and restructure and put things where you want it. SMS, I am happy to help you get insight, but I don't know what you need insight into, good sir. So all right, well, it's 6:30 here. If you guys don't have anything else to chat about, I'm probably going to wrap up. I'm going to try to finish this observability course today. We'll see what else I get to today. I'm at level, let's see, what am I at? I'm still at level 94, but I think I'm close to leveling up. Yeah, I just need 1,000 more XP. I tell you what, man, I don't know how people get to level 100, because once you get above like 90, every level is like 7,000 XP, and each course only gives you like 5,000 XP. It's crazy. I guess I'm just gonna have to do a bunch more courses, I guess. I honestly, I'm just gonna have to farm some of these courses. I think for XP, which sounds bad, but like I don't know what else to do. I know they have challenges, but the challenges don't earn you much XP either. See you, Zolo. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome anytime, man. Anytime I'm live, please feel free to stop by. Even if it's just to say hi and you move on your way, it's always good to hear from people. All right, I was waiting on SMS to see if he wanted to ask a question because he said, could I provide insight? But he may have moved on. Alrighty, I'm out of here, guys. Hope you have a wonderful Friday and hope you guys have a great weekend ahead of you. And I'll see you when I see you, I guess. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning. But if I don't see you, I'll see you when I see you. Okay, bye. See you guys. Have a good day.